Hello, welcome to Heat Up, but something is off with me, just Joey T. I just took a shower. It's so nice to take a shower when you've been sticky, and then that feeling of, you know what one of the best feelings is? When you take a shower or you're nice and smooth and clean, and then you get into bed and it's like fresh sheets, like you've just changed the sheets. That feels super nice. I think a lot of people, I guess in America, a lot of people shower first thing in the morning, is my understanding. But I don't do that. I shower at night at some point before bed, like sometime between getting home from wherever I went that day and before I go to bed. That's when I take a shower. Because I don't want all the grime that my skin has picked up from being out and about, going to the gym, going to work or wherever throughout the day for like God knows how many hours you're outdoors during the day, and bring all that into my bed and sleep in it for like 8 hours. Or that's what moms taught me anyways when I grew up. You shower sometime between when you get home and when you go to bed to wash off all the grime that you've picked up. But I know a lot of people, they don't do that. They rather start the day quote unquote clean. But yeah, I don't like the feeling of going to bed if I haven't showered. It feels different. Like you can feel that, after you take a shower, your skin feels different for sure. So I'm very not used to going to bed if I haven't showered after going out. So yeah, I don't shower in the morning because I don't sweat usually. And like once in a great while, you get nice sweats or whatever. And it's like, yeah, like I'll shower in the morning afterwards because you can feel like the sweat. But usually I'll get up, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, do my skincare, and then I have breakfast. And then, yeah, that's it. Then the day kicks off like that. I'm also wearing one of my favorite shirts. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, followable on Spotify and also my YouTube channel, Just Joey T, then you can see this slightly skimpy, not super skimpy, slightly skimpy. I guess this is like it's not quite a tank top. It's like a sleeveless low drop tank. It barely covers nipple to nipple. Like the width of where it goes across my chest, it's almost exactly the width between my two nipples. So yeah, inadvertently, there's always like a nip slip, but like I'm really into the tank tops or the sleeveless tees where they've got like a really low drop on the arm openings. Yeah, I've been really into that. But I don't buy clothes anymore because I don't ever shop for clothes. Half my closet is free clothes from JJ Malibu because they've done a few influencer things with me. It's like, hey Joey, can we send you some free clothes, and can you like make a YouTube video or like post a few photos on the Instagram? I've had one of those calls from them for a little while. I think the last time I had a call from them was like 3 years ago, 2021 maybe. But I've done a few of those. If you look through like my YouTube channel, you see like 2 or 3 of the times where I did feature some JJ Malibu stuff, and that's how I've gotten a lot of free tank tops and a lot of free shorts from them actually. But yeah, go check out they're not paying me to say this. It's not a sponsored episode, but yeah, go check out their stuff. It's pretty decent stuff. This is actually a JJ Malibu tank top that I'm wearing. It's actually my favorite tank top. It's actually white, and whenever I wear white, I instantly get it dirty. So I love wearing white. I just like the way the color looks on me. I'm usually really pale anyway, so if I wear white, it just makes me look a little more tan, if you will. But I always instantly get it dirty, so it's my favorite color to wear for shirts, and it's the color that I wear the least to go out because I just can't be bothered to be careful to not get my clothing dirty when I'm out and about. So yeah, there you go. I feel like I got a lot of topics I want to talk about. It's going to be a really random episode of the podcast, so I hope you're all buckled in. First of all, the last week's episode didn't go up on time. It went up a little bit late. The YouTube version went out bang on time. I upload it the day before and I schedule it to release at midnight. It's how I usually do it. I have to do it separately for YouTube versus everywhere else. Everywhere else, it goes off of Spotify's platforms. When I publish it on Spotify, it goes to every podcast app out there. It goes to like Apple Podcasts, goes to Amazon Music. It goes everywhere just from the Spotify servers. So I upload it twice. But when you upload to Spotify, you drag the file in, it uploads, and after it's done uploading, you have to hit publish again. Otherwise, after the upload, it just sits there and it doesn't get published. So sometimes I'll upload it. I'll upload to YouTube and to Spotify in two separate tabs at the same time. With YouTube, you click all the buttons you need while the upload is still going. So it's done. So it takes like an hour or 30 minutes. The video version takes quite a while to upload because it's got video in it. It's not just like an audio file. So sometimes I will upload it and I'll walk away from the computer. But it takes like 30, 45 minutes usually. And therefore, sometimes I forget in Spotify to hit the publish button, which I can't hit until it's done uploading. So that's why last week's episode didn't go up on time. I wish they just redesigned that system. Anyways, what happened this week, hopefully. So that's a little housekeeping. Switching topic, this is going to be a very random episode. I don't have any particular Atlantis Gay Cruise advice to give out, but I just noticed that I'm on the Atlantis mailing list, of course. But I just got an email from them this morning that it's the February cruise. They're calling it the 35th anniversary Caribbean cruise, February 3rd to the 10th, 2025 on the Allure of the Seas. It's the cruise that I talked about recently about the fees and everything. And that one is 80% sold. So the last time I checked, which was probably like 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, I think. It was something like 60-something% sold. So the fact that it's 80% sold doesn't really surprise me. I mentioned in last week's episode that I do expect this one to sell out. And I also gave the advice that if you're at all thinking about going on this cruise, even if you're just on the fence about it, if you don't mind putting down a deposit of money on it now, I would recommend you just go ahead and book it just before it's sold out. Just secure whatever rate is that Atlantis has now, because the rates never go down. They only go up over time. And yeah, just get yourself onto the cruise, get yourself a cabin. You can always sell it later. I think this one, it'll probably be sold out before the end of the summer, honestly. Maybe in like I can see it being sold out within the next 1 or 2 months. Probably by September, it'll be sold out. So yeah, I recommend just go ahead and doing that. And there was the episode of the podcast that I did, I think quite a while ago, about how to go about selling your room if you have a booking and it's getting closer to the date of sailing, and you, for whatever reason, you can't go anymore or you don't want to go anymore. And also for, if you want to go on a cruise that is sold out, how you can do that. So basically, there are ways to get on a cruise that's sold out, and there's also ways to sell your booking if you no longer wish to go at a later time. So yeah, I will probably run that advice again as we get sometime after this sells out, maybe closer to like the November, December timeframe, when we're like 1 to 2 months before the cruise. That's usually where the buying and selling activities peak, because within 1 or 2 months before the cruise sets sail, that's when people that haven't thought about booking it before, it's close enough that they're now thinking about, oh, this is happening in like 4 to 8 weeks. I should actually look into it now. Not everyone is as OCD as I am, tries to plan the cruises out, 9 or 10 months in advance. But that's also where, for people who already have a booking on a cruise, maybe they booked it 9 or 10 months in advance, like me, or like half the ship booked it, 9 to 10 months before the sail date. When you get to 1 or 2 months before, that's when some people inevitably will find out, I just took a new job, and it's not a good time to take a week vacation because of this new job, or, family stuff happens. Maybe, they're getting married, or they're about to have kids, or like whatever the reason is, right? There's a whole bunch of reasons. Life happens, where people can't or don't want to go to the cruise anymore. Sometimes people book as a couple and they break up, or they booked it when they were single and now they have a partner. Maybe it's a new relationship, and sometimes it's not the best to go on the gay cruises, especially this like party cruise. When you just started a relationship, like a proper relationship, a serious one, it's probably not the best, especially if it's not an open relationship and it's too early in the relationship to even bring that up, to hop on this party cruise. So a lot of different reasons. But as we get to like 1 or 2 months before, that's when we'll see the number of people who want to sell their rooms will pick up, because, they have better clarity as to various life events that's happening around the time of the cruise, or people that haven't thought about that cruise before because it was so far away. Now there's only 1 or 2 months away. They're actually thinking about the cruise and they want to go. But I assure you, by November or December, this is going to be sold out. It's going to be sold out probably like August or September. So yeah, I'll come back around that time and give everybody some buying and selling trading room advice. Cool. Yeah, but otherwise, the rest of the cruises this year, according to this email, they've listed the other cruises for this year as well. There's the luxury European cruise, which is the Oceania cruise in July. That one's quite a bit more expensive, and it's on the Oceania, which is like a premium luxury cruise line. That one's not sold out. But all the other cruises for this year are sold out. So they're the 2 Mediterranean cruises that are back-to-back on the Virgin ships, and they're each 10-day sailings in August. Those are sold out. They've been sold out for several months now, actually, so that's not news. The Mexico cruise from San Diego in end of October, and I actually really like that cruise. It's a slightly smaller ship. It's really reliable. It's not as crazy as like the January, February cruise on that massive ship. That one sold out as well. I haven't been keeping super close track of that one. That's the one I do like to go on. I really like the October one, honestly. This year, I'm going to be going to Taiwan for Pride, which is at the same time. So I just haven't been keeping a super close track of that one for that reason. That one sold out as well. That one, it doesn't sell every single year. But again, lately, demand for cruises, not just Atlantis gay cruises, just cruises in general, have been like bonkers, even higher than like pre-pandemic. So definitely not surprised that that one is sold out. So it sells out, it tends to historically sell out not every year, like some years, but most years, back in the 2010s, it would be nicely full. It wouldn't be totally sold out, but it would be maybe like, 80, 90%-ish, that kind of capacity in terms of sales. And then the February one for 2025, just talked about, that's apparently now 80% full. So there you go. Again, guys, if there's any cruise-related advice that you all want me to talk about, feel free to comment in the YouTube edition of any of the podcast episodes, honestly. If you have any questions about, like the booking process, what type of rooms to book, would you guys like it if I just gave the advice that, it's 80% sold this February 2025 cruise on the Allure of the Seas next year? Obviously, there's only so many rooms that are left, and you can actually see what rooms are available if you go into like the reservation system that Atlantis has online. If you are interested in me giving you advice as to which of the remaining rooms you should select, like which part of the ship, out of all the available rooms now, the 20% of the rooms that are available, which deck should you go for? Like what type of room should you go for? What are the pros and cons of staying in different parts of the ship, or pros and cons of different types of rooms? Because there are a lot of different types of rooms on this particular ship. There are 3 different kinds of balcony rooms. You have an ocean balcony room, there is a Central Park balcony, and there's a boardwalk balcony. They have very different views. They're all in very different parts. They open with different parts of the ship, the balcony itself, and they're definitely very different pros and cons. You get interior rooms, but also interior rooms that are all throughout the ship. Some of them are much better than the other ones. Some of them get very noisy. Some of them are very decent in terms of noise, actually. There are also rooms that have a window, not a balcony, but they have like a window where you can look out. But, those also have like a really large variation. Some look out the front of the ship. Some look out, actually, I'm not sure the ones look out back, but some look out the side on the lower deck. Some look out onto the Grand Promenade, actually. There's some rooms with windows that don't look out to the outside. And that's not a feature you find on any other type of ship except for these really large ones from Royal Caribbean. So, yeah, if any of you guys are interested in getting some advice, some pros and cons about the types of rooms and the locations of, at least for this particular cruise, of the rooms that are still available, yeah, let me know in the comments on the YouTube edition of this podcast. And yeah, maybe that could be some fun advice for me to give out to y'all. All right, switching gears a little bit away from the gay cruises. There's no other way to say it, so I'm just gonna say it. I have a thrombosed hemorrhoid. It's a thing. Hemorrhoids, a lot of people get them. Okay, so it's not a uncommon medical condition. I've had one for quite a while now, and once in a very great while, I think it's only the second time that it's happened to me. You get a blood clot within your hemorrhoid, which is what a thrombosed hemorrhoid is. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. From memory, that's how I believe it's pronounced. Yeah, but that's what it is. You get a blood clot within your hemorrhoid. So it's you get like a lump that you can feel, and depending on how it developed and the location, the size, and all of that, sometimes you don't really feel it, or it could be very painful based off the pressure of the blood that's built up inside. So for me, it doesn't seem to be a particularly uncomfortable or painful one, unless the only way I actually knew about it was at a bowel movement, and I went to wipe, and then I was like, oh, this is a lump, and this is, I've been here before once or twice. Oh, there's a blood clot in the hemorrhoid. So, yeah. It's especially inconvenient for me for 2 reasons. Well, for like 3 reasons. 1, I'm gay. 2, I'm a bottom. 3, I depend on, I depend on my income right now purely depends on everything back there looking and functioning good. Okay? So it's like the triple whammy of like a regular gay bottom. It's already bad enough that if you have a thrombosed hemorrhoid, I mean, I guess you could bottom, but it could hurt real bad. I've never tried to bottom while I have this condition. So medically, if it is causing a lot of discomfort or pain, and you kind of act within like 48 to 72 hours of it, of the blood clot, you can go to like urgent care or maybe like your proctologist, and they can do an incision and drain the blood out, and that relieves the pressure and that effectively fixes it. But they don't usually like to do that in every single case. It's usually if it's like very uncomfortable and it's like hurting a lot, that's where they will want to do that because it's not like a completely risk-free thing. For everyone else, it will go away in like 2 to 3 weeks. But obviously, you gotta take some precautions during those 2 to 3 weeks to not make it worse and not make it more uncomfortable or more painful than it is. But I did have a quick call with a doctor, and it's not that I don't really feel it, honestly. Obviously, when you go to the toilet, an exit-only situation, something is passing through, yeah, you're probably going to feel it, but it's not like extreme pain or anything. But yeah, just because I'm gay and I'm a bottom and I do porn doesn't mean I am immune to these types of conditions. That makes it impossible for me to to perform one of the core duties of my career. That's as eloquent as I can put it, basically. So yeah, it's going to be an exit-only situation for the next 2 to 3 weeks. But the last time I went to my proctologist, which was like a month ago, not that long ago, and I've been going to him for like 2.5, 3 years now, and we're kind of sort of in maintenance management mode with my hemorrhoid. It's still there, and he does like an injection every time I go to him. One time he did this like infrared laser light, whatever thing to kind of sort of remove some part of it. I don't fully remember what it was, what the procedure was, and I'm not, all these medical terms anyways, it's not my tea. But I did ask him, is it an option to remove it? And he's like, yes, that will like get rid of it, but the cost of it, like if you don't have insurance, for example, is $12,000 to $15,000 to remove it. So my proctologist isn't under my insurance. It's not covered by my insurance. It's out of network. Only Americans will get this because healthcare everywhere else is much less of a mess. But my proctologist was referred to me by a friend, and I really like him. So I keep going to him and just paying out of pocket, even though it's not covered by any of the insurance plans I've ever had. But yeah, I think I want to get it removed. So I got a referral for a proctologist that's within my insurance, and I'm going to ask them about it. Hopefully the insurance would cover some amount of it. Even if it's like half the cost, not the full thing, even if I have to pay something like, I don't know, $6,000 to $8,000 to get it removed, to have it be done, I think I'm willing to do that. So yeah, is that TMI? I feel like there's certain conditions that, like hemorrhoids, like people don't like to talk about it, but especially like if you're gay and you're a bottom, I feel like people don't talk about it, so I don't really know. But my gut feel is there's like some amount of shame and what's the word I'm trying to think of? Anyways, there's like some type of shame or some type of need to feel like you need to avoid talking about any medical condition related to your anus, even if it's something that's quite common, like hemorrhoids. And hemorrhoids are, sometimes they get blood clots. That's just the anatomy of it. So yeah, I'm gay, I'm a bottom, I do porn, and I have a thrombosed hemorrhoid. So there you go. Like, these things happen, okay? You just have to deal with it. There you go. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not posting on my social media, and I'm not shouting it from the rooftops, but it's like, yeah, it's a thing. So if you're gay, and it doesn't matter if you're a top or a bottom, okay? I don't know if tops. Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's say someone messages you on Grindr. Okay, let's say you're a top, and you message some bottom on Grindr. Will you want a bottom to tell you that they have a hemorrhoid? Because it's like it's either too much information, or like maybe the top is too immature to understand that sometimes bottoms have these conditions too. Like, bottoms are not immune to having hemorrhoids and having, a thrombosed hemorrhoid at that. So yeah, I just think I'm fine to say it. If that takes some of the what you might call it. I'm not doing very good with vocabulary tonight, but yeah, if that takes some of the shame out of having a discussion about how anyone could have hemorrhoids, but obviously it's more inconvenient for people who bottom and take dicks up their ass. Well, there you go. Maybe you've had this condition before and you've been scared or ashamed or whatever about it. Just know that, hey, it happens to everyone, even people who do OnlyFans. So there you go. I've got a lot more topics I want to talk about. I want to talk about, it's been bugging me. I want to give people some quick rundowns of like gym etiquette, especially for people that, you know, maybe you don't go to the gym all the time, or you're wanting to like go to the gym. But sometimes, you know, as a newcomer to the gym, maybe you feel a little intimidated by some of the regulars that go. I was going to talk a little bit about, you know, just basic gym etiquette for people that are like newcomers to the gym. And some of it is common sense, but like, you know, but if you're new to the gym, sometimes you just don't know, right? And whenever you go to like a new location or setting, or like do something that you're not used to, you know, whatever advice that you can get to kind of make it easier to do that new thing or be in that environment, I feel like it's always appreciated. Yeah, so that's on my list. I will eventually talk about it, instead of just like bitching about people at the gym that are not, you know, putting their weights away or whatever. I thought it'd be more helpful some point in the future. I'll do an episode of the podcast where, you know, some basic gym etiquette, very easy things. And honestly, at the gym, I am not impressed by how hot someone looks, or how heavy how heavy the weights that they lift are, or how complicated of a workout exercise that they're doing. Sometimes people do these like crazy looking exercises. You know, like, good for them. If you can bench like 400 pounds, good for you. The only thing that impresses me and makes me have more respect for you and would want me to be extra nice to you is if you have basic gym etiquette. I don't care if you can't lift a 5-pound dumbbell, okay? I don't care if you can't even do like one single ab crunch. I don't care if you can barely do a single push-up. But if you put your weights away, if you wipe off the equipment after you're done using it, and you don't like, and you're using headphones and you're not playing music out of your phone on speaker, these very basic things, and if you just, you know, like, that impresses me more than any complicated exercise or any heavy amount of weights you could ever possibly do. 100% serious. I'm not just saying this to make certain people feel like better about themselves for, you know, like just starting at the gym, whatever. Like it is 100% true. So that's one of the topics I wanted to talk about. But we might save it for another day because it's dinner time. I actually got my rice cooker cooking rice, and I put chicken into my toaster oven. And then while I was waiting for all that to cook, I've been recording this podcast. So there you go. And until next time, bye.